Hi everybody, in this video I'm going to show you how to make gore, flesh and blood effects for your miniatures. I'm going to do a Necron kill team, so flayed ones are the perfect models to show some of the techniques that I used here. The Games Workshop flayed ones are kinda lame. I really kinda like the flesh, blood bathing kind. If you like what you're seeing, please like, subscribe, you know what to do. And welcome to the workshop. So the tools and the materials that I used for this project, mainly for the texturing, are PVA glue, just a regular kind, super glue, a tool with a pointed tip, you can choose whatever you like. This is one of my favorites because it also has got this handy little spoon, a plaster knife, a couple of toothpicks, and then of course the models. These are Necron warriors, already converted up, and I applied a base coat of a sandy type color. Time to show how I did the weapons. Let's go. As you can see, quite simple. Just make a little hole in the arms, apply a little bit of super glue, and then I cut strips of thin metal wire about half a centimeter long, and I just apply these to the hole and let it dry thoroughly. When it's dry, you can bend them to shape. First texture we've done in a previous video, which is the PVA glue mixed with the super glue, which forms this fleshy kind of texture. We apply this to the base. And to the model. When happy with the applied texture, you let it dry thoroughly, and then it's time to apply the second texture. We're going to simulate the hanging flesh of our fallen enemies. For this we are going to use PVA glue, which we are going to dry in the microwave. First we apply dots of PVA, then with a plaster knife we can smear it open. 20 seconds, 600 watts. The water in the PVA is going to evaporate. We're going to let it sit for a couple of minutes. Then we use our plaster knife to scrape it together. And then this is the stuff that we are going to use to sculpt our pieces of flesh with. Just rip it apart and we glue it on the model with a little bit of super glue. let's take a look at the tools and the materials for the painting step. I used quite a couple of brands of paints. I mainly use Vallejo in different colors. You can see the colors passing by whenever I use them in the video. And then of course again Sennelier inks, which are shellac based. First time using an acrylic ink. I really like using this. I think I'm going to buy some more colors. And then an old Esserman blue wash by Games Workshop. I think it's called something else, black wash. And then for the special effects I used the Uhu glue, which is just a cheap variant, the original one, nothing too fancy. I think it costs about €3. And then the Tamiya clear red if you want to simulate realistic blood, realistic fresh blood. This is the go-to stuff. And then I use regular toothpicks to mix these two together. Time for the first color, Dead Flesh, over all the glue texture that we apply to the model. After drying time for some red ink, and I use it a little bit diluted with water and pour out of the pot. All over the model and over the base. The bases for these models were made just like the previous tutorial I did for these types of bases. I will link them in the description below. And then I glued some bits of skulls and ribs to the model that I painted in a sepia. With purple ink I apply a first variation on the color palette for the blood and the goriness. A little bit of blue ink as another color and to emphasize the shadows. And as a final shading color I use a little bit of black ink in the deepest recesses of the shadows and on the metal parts of the flayed one. After a good bit of drying, it's time for a first highlight. We are going to dry brush some dead flesh all over the fleshy parts and a little bit of buff over the corpses on the bases. The rims of the bases were finished off with a layer of black paint. And then back to the models, a bit of Tamiya clear red on the weapons, and a bit on the flesh. This is a bright, vivid red color that we can use to simulate fresh blood. Then it's time for the special effects. About 50% of the glue and 50% of the clear red. Mix it together for about a minute. It's going to get thready. It's going to form this paste which you can apply to the model, and then you can pull strands and simulate hanging blood and gory effects. And that's it for this project, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all very much for watching. If you have any comments, please shoot in the comment section below. I want to see you next week because I'm going to start my kill team board. You do not want to miss out on this project. Once again, thanks for watching. Check me out on my social media. Like, subscribe, you know what to do. Till next week. Bye.